Hey, welcome back. So today I want to put out a warning to America, and that is, heads up, you are heading for a trap. It's true. Everywhere you look right now, whether it's Facebook or the news, watching television, all you hear about are the sports stars, the NFL, the NBA, taking a knee in protest, and the rest of the country going crazy ape bonkers because they're doing it. I just have to tell you, you're being set up. You are being set up. The enemy would love nothing more than to create division, and has for a long time. In fact, this isn't new, but it has been scaling up in recent, I would even say just months. Black Lives Matter, the left going crazy because Trump was elected president. This is just another thing in a series of things that is causing division. And my hopes are that it will, much like the riots and the Black Lives Matter thing, it'll blow over and we'll forget about it. But if not, this thing could escalate, especially if it turns violent. This thing could escalate to a point where the country is crazy divided, internally focused on this thing, and our external enemies will jump on that opportunity to knock us down. And so this has potential to be a very bad situation. Not just this protest thing, but the division that it's causing in America. The potential to be devastating. And I don't think most people are aware of it. And they're just going about their day and they're buying into it. You're buying into what they're selling you. I think the problem with this most recent spin isn't the protest so much, because on one hand you have predominantly black, but not entirely, taking the knee in protest for social injustice, what they see as social injustice. The targeting of black males by the police officers seems to be the common theme. And let me interject this before we get too far away. I have several friends and family members that are peace officers, and I've talked to all of them about, hey, what is going on when this, this has been going on for years, but like, what do you see going on? Are cops just losing their mind and shooting people like crazy? And they're like, no. What's going on is there is a spirit of lawlessness at work. And this shouldn't be surprising, because the Bible talks about in the last days, there will be a spirit of lawlessness. And people have no respect for the law more and more. It's not just black people, it's all people. And so what my police officer friends are telling me is, you can't get anybody to comply with an order. They pull you up, hey, I need you to get out of your car. Oh, F you, cop, I don't do what you tell me to do, blah, blah, blah. Now the situation's gonna escalate in a bad way. Or, hey, I need to see your ID. No, you don't need to see my ID, I've got rights, blah, 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 blah. Now things are gonna escalate in a bad way. And so you have people that don't respect the law, or increasingly we have people that don't respect the law. And on the other hand, you have cops that are jaded because everybody they talk to is combative and abusive and does not want to cooperate. And they become jaded, and now you've got cops walking around with a really short fuse. They've had it up to here, and the next jerkwad that gives them any attitude is gonna get one. And when it happens, it's on film and it gets spun out of control, and you get what we got now. A nation going, hey, the cops are going crazy, and some of them are. Some of them are nuts. I'm not gonna say that all the incidents of excessive brutality was started by the person. I saw a video of a cop get out of his car and shoot, it happened to be a black man, while he was just doing what the cop told him to do. Just bam, 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 no warning. Okay, so there are rare examples of cops, and I say rare because when you take into consideration all the stops and all the questions and all the cops pulling people over every day that happens, 99.999% of the time, nothing happens. Nothing becomes of it. Somebody gets a ticket, somebody gets a warning, things go on, life goes on. Once in a great while, things escalate, and when it hits the media, it blows up like this is going on all the time, every day. And so the bad part about the fact that this is a spirit of lawlessness is you can't legislate this out. You can't raise awareness on Facebook. This has to be dealt with at a spiritual level. So there's that. So back to this particular protest. So you got the guys protesting. It is peaceful. They're not hurting anyone. Do I agree with it? Do I think that it's the most effective way to protest what they're trying to? No. And it's infuriating the people of America that are patriotic. That's the thing with the trap, is it has to be baited with something that will get you. If you're trying to catch an animal, you don't put rocks in the trap. Most animals aren't a fan of rocks. I was one time trying to catch a bobcat that was eating all my chickens, and I had to load it with chicken and stuff the bobcat likes to get him. If I put a plate of cat turds in there, he's not gonna go near it. Similarly, if you're trying to create anger and frustration, attacking America's patriotic center is the way to do it, because there is no other country in the world more patriotic than America, right? It's true. We love our country. When we feel that somebody is disrespecting our country, it angers us. Bam, right away, no questions asked. And so that is how this is getting spun. Why the protesters decided to take it out on the national anthem, I don't know. But I'll bet if you sat down and asked them, they love their country. They're probably frustrated that the situation's going on with the police, but they love their country. And everybody else loves their country. So what am I getting at? I'm getting at this. Don't take the bait. Don't let this escalate. There's a couple ways we can fight this. One, you can try and foster understanding and lines of communication with the side that you don't agree with. You can pray about the thing. But I believe one of the best things that we could possibly do is ignore it, right? If you don't agree with somebody's protest, the fastest way to steal their thunder is to simply turn your back on it. The only reason this is catching traction is because people are losing their minds about this thing. They're going crazy. They're burning their season tickets for the NFL. They're boycotting all the sponsors. They're losing their mind. And I get it. This is an important issue to you. But I'll tell you this, if you didn't say anything about these protesters, it wouldn't be a thing. I'm sure it irritates you, but if you just kept it to yourself, it would be a matter of weeks before, hey, no one's looking at me kneeling down, protesting. It just goes away. It just goes away. If a bunch of Nazis decided to show up and have a rally in the middle of downtown, and you just made sure that there was nobody on the streets to watch this thing, how effective would their rally be? There's no one there. The 15 Nazis that showed up, hoping that they'd get the TV cameras out there and counter-protesters and get all this attention, gets nothing. And they're out there kicking rocks, and eventually they just go away. And the same thing is true of this. If you can just ignore it, bite your lip, it will go away. But the other options are viable too. Hey, lines of communication, figure out, try and see things from the other person's side. And that goes for the protesters that are maybe shaking their heads going, why are these people losing their minds? You're stomping on something they hold sacred. Go figure. So, America, please. This is the enemy. The enemy would love nothing better than to see America in a state of chaotic civil unrest. And they would love even nothing better than that is to see that chaotic unrest turn violent. And so let's not give the enemy what he's hoping to see. So I hope you can take this to heart, and I'll talk to you next week.